The Renaissance was a period of great social change in Europe, which started in approximately the 14th century, lasting all the way to the end of the 17th century. This period saw Europe coming out of the Dark Ages and to a more modern way of social thinking, with greater emphasis being placed on art, architecture, politics, science, and literature. The Renaissance is a popular historical backdrop for many TV shows and documentaries. This list will give you my top 10 recommendations of the best historical TV shows based on the Renaissance. At number 10, we have the Golden Globe award-winning miniseries Wolf Hall, which is a fictional biography on Thomas Cromwell and shows his trajectory from being a poor, working-class member of society to becoming the right hand of King Henry VIII. This TV show is based off two books, Wolf Hall and Bring Up the Bodies, both of which have been mentioned in the Observer's list of top 10 historical novels of all time. As you'd expect with an award-winning show, the storyline and acting here is top tier. The show is fictional, but most of the major events that occur are true, as Thomas Cromwell was a key figure during the reign of King Henry, and this show does a great job of bringing his contributions to life. Wolf Hall is a strong recommendation from me for anyone that would be interested in seeing a more historically accurate but slightly slower paced depiction of King Henry VIII's reign. At number 9, we have a romantic historical drama called Reign, TV show which follows the life of Mary of Scots from her early teenage years as the betrothed of Prince Francis of France and is living at French court till it is safe for her to return to Scotland again one day. This show is a romantic historical drama and is a largely historically inaccurate show, which means a lot of the costume design, characters, and even many major plot lines are either totally incorrect or fictional at worst. But if you're okay with the show which is focused more on drama and romance than history, then Reign will be a hugely enjoyable show for you, as the plot, character development, and political intrigue in this show is excellent, and after a few episodes the show really does start to engross you and make you want to watch one episode after the other. At number 8, it is Leonardo, a historical drama based around the life of Leonardo da Vinci and the various influences on his life that helped him produce his most famous work and inspire him to create the blueprints for his many inventions. This series is first and foremost a drama piece, set within a Renaissance historical backdrop, and it places the emphasis more on drama than history, which should surprise literally nobody at this point. But if you can put up with the huge number of historical accuracies in the show, you'll find a series here that is engaging, filled with lots of plot twists and interesting characters who really do bring the world to life. So for people who want a more simplified look at the Renaissance and in a manner that's easy to follow and accessible, then Leonardo is my recommendation for you. At number 7 is Renaissance Unchained, a 4-part documentary series which has art critic and TV presenter Waldemar Janczak presenting various art pieces that are generally unknown to most audiences from the Renaissance period. This documentary is a fascinating watch from start to finish, and it presents a unique perspective on the art of the time by highlighting the fact that Italy was not the sole place of artistic development during this time, and art from other parts of Europe are displayed and explained in the documentary. So if you're looking for a documentary series which brings more depth to the famous work of artists such as Michelangelo, but also shows the amazing work from unknown artists in Germany and France, then the Renaissance Unchained is my recommendation for you. The 6th spot on this list goes to The Spanish Princess, a TV series based on the life of Catherine of Aragon, a character who has an exhilarating and fascinating story to share with audiences, as she is the first wife of King Henry VIII and also the mother of Queen Mary, also known as Bloody Mary, so her influence on British history and the Renaissance period cannot be understated. Also, this show has top class acting with all primary and secondary actors bringing their A game for the show. The character development and plot twists in this series are also amazing as well. There are a few hiccups in pacing and a few too many historical liberties taken with this show, but that does not take away from the fact that The Spanish Princess is a show that viewers need to add to their must-watch list ASAP. The 5th spot on this list goes to Versailles, a historical drama based on the construction of the Palace of Versailles during the rule of Louis XIV. This is different from most other historical TV shows, as big battles and military warfare take the backseat in order to bring court politics and political intrigue to the forefront. So for fans of historical shows, this is a real treat, as it highlights how important the noble class are for a king to retain power, and this show does a fantastic job of highlighting how King Louis alienates himself from the noble class and slowly starts to lose their support. Alongside great acting, this show has a fantastic storyline with truly amazing plot twists, but there are still a few shortcomings with the show, especially in terms of pacing, as the show does start off very slow, much slower than I would prefer, to be honest, and this could put off many casual viewers of historical dramas. But if you're looking for a show that focuses more on political maneuvering and discussion between characters rather than epic battles and fight scenes, then Versailles is my recommendation for you. The fourth spot on this list goes to The White Queen, a historical drama based around several key figures, primarily women, during the War of the Roses period of history, using the historical novel series The Cousins' War by Philippa Gregory as its basis. The show starts in 1464 with England being at war for over 9 years, with the House of York and House of Lancaster both contesting their claim as England's rightful king. The story is told primarily through the viewpoint of 3 women, Elizabeth Woodville, Margaret Beaufort and Anne Neville, each of whom manipulate events in the background to further their own ambitions and gain power for their house. The White Queen is a thriller from the first episode and really keeps the viewer engrossed in the series from beginning to end, with amazing plot twists, a great storyline and strong, great characters who audiences will really be able to relate to. There's not much to critique about this show. It lacks a bit in historical accuracy, but this is hardly a surprise by this point. So for viewers looking for a fantastic and semi-authentic experience of the War of the Roses, then The White Queen is my recommendation for you. The third spot on this list goes to The Tudors, a historical TV series based around the life of King Henry VIII and his turbulent reign filled with lots of romance, political and religious intrigue. Henry VIII is remembered today for his numerous marriages and the execution of some of his wives, as well as being remembered for breaking off from the Catholic Church and starting his own Protestant religion. The Tudors is a great show for anyone interested in better understanding the political and religious elements of 16th century England, as this is a slower paced show based around the various day-to-day routines of a monarch, as well as the court politics being played by the various people surrounding the king as they all try to vie for power. This is one of the few historical shows I have seen that maintains its quality throughout all the seasons, and is a thrilling and entertaining show from beginning to end. Sometimes the show does stumble with pacing and aging King Henry appropriately, but The Tudors is my recommendation for anyone interested in learning about one of England's most controversial monarchs. At number 2 we have Medici, which is based around the House of Medici, a powerful Italian family who had considerable and societal influence during the Italian Renaissance, due in large part to their extreme wealth and vast business and political connections. This show takes place in Florence, and the story begins in 1429 after the death of Giovanni de' Medici and his son Cosimo taking control of the family bank and having to deal with different political and religious intrigues to ensure his family bank retains its wealth and power as one of the richest entities in Europe. So if you're interested in a slower paced show with lots of plot twists, interesting characters and a true depiction of the Renaissance period, then Medici is my recommendation for you. The top spot on this list goes to Borgia, a historical TV show based around several key figures from the House of Borgia, such as Lucrezia, Cesare and Rodrigo Borgia. Although there are a few other TV shows based around these historical figures, I feel that Borgia is the most historically accurate and interesting version to watch, and a TV show that I cannot recommend highly enough. The Borgia family are some of the most notorious figures in history, and with such interesting characters to portray, this show does a fantastic job of gripping audiences with a story that is fast-paced, interesting and full of lots of plot twists. The acting in the show is also top-notch, with all the cast doing a spectacular job of bringing their characters to life. But I will admit that I hated the strong American accent that the Pope has, but you do eventually get used to it. If you're looking for a show which is historically accurate, has a cast of diverse and talented actors, and a plot that will keep you engrossed from beginning to end, then Borgia is my recommendation for you. Lastly, I just wanted to say thank you so much for watching this video. If you do like historical TV shows and movies, then do subscribe to my channel as I post videos about these subjects on a regular basis. And also feel free to like and share this video and leave a comment down below of other topics you would like me to cover. Thank you so much for watching.